Welcome to the FGTN show, Fishing Gear and Tech News. I'm your host, Alex Tim, and tonight we're diving into the brand new 2025-2026 ice fishing gear from Clam Outdoors, plus a sneak peek at what's coming from Otter Outdoors. This is leaked. This is not officially released from Otter, but I had a buddy of mine get me some information, sleuthing around on the internet, and we found some goodies. So it's going to be fun. If you're watching live or on the replay squad, drop down in the chat. Which brand are you more excited about, Clam or Otter? We're talking about both of those tonight. Those are the only two you get to pick from. You can tell me whatever you want. But Clam or Otter, which one are you more excited to hear about tonight? And before we dive in, this episode is brought to you by Angler Built, a site that I created to help take the guesswork out of choosing your fishing electronics. But I'll tell you more about that later in the show. For now, let's go ahead and jump in. And I want this to be interactive. So all of you that are in the chat, in the replay squad, with whether you're live or watching on that replay squad, drop in. Are you jacked? Are you excited for ice season? I feel like I'm crazy. It's August 26th today. And this to me is like the kickoff of ice season. Like I'm all in on ice fishing season now. Like there's gear announcements coming basically every week now for months to come. So like I am stoked. This is what I'm geared up and excited for. I know there's a ton of great fall fishing to come, but drop down, let me know what you guys are all thinking here. We got what up? What up, Zick? What up, Chad? How's it going? Charles, great to see a lot of people here. Eskimo all the way, Ty. Love it, love it. We'll be talking about Eskimo not too far away, but not tonight. Chad, either one. Chris is saying Eskimo here. John is saying Clam. The Mr. Kinks is saying Eskimo. Just seems like the quality for the price is hard to beat. Boy, oh boy. I don't disagree with you, but I think there's going to be some challenges coming even this year. Just hope we have ice this year. I saw somebody post, we believe the early part of the season, depending on where you're at, but in the Midwest at least, we believe, according to what I'm seeing, there is potentially going to be a little bit of an El Nino at the beginning of the winter season, which means it should be colder than normal. And then it's going to get a lot of snow later in the season. But hey, build that ice early, then let the snow come. I don't care. Give me a foot of clear, hard as a rock ice, and then do whatever you want with the snow. Just don't make it slushy. We got Clam from Marcus on the replay squad. So stoked for the ice. Yeah, Ty, love it. Trying to do these maybe a little bit earlier here. We're bumping it up. We're 9:30 instead of 10 p.m. at night. What's up, Ryan? Ice stuff dropping is awesome. How do the hair jigs do for you? Hair jigs are great, man. I gotta connect with you and get you some more thoughts on it too. Utah Mike, my time of the year, hopefully 60 days for hard water in Utah, Otter Shack type. Utah Mike, you, I think, are going to be having some fun tonight. Austin is saying Clam. Okay, let's jump in. So I'm not going to go go through this, but I have it linked down below. Clam has announced their full 2025-2026 catalog. So this is not just new gear, but all of their gear. They do a fantastic job with this every single year. Last year they were at ICAST. I got my hands on a printed like copy of it, like a magazine catalog, and it is incredible. So if you want to know anything, go ahead and download this and go through it. Like there's details on everything, including the new stuff. Let's just flip to something that's new here and show you that new stuff's in here. Here we go. Here we go. The slim backpack that we can see here. Oop, oop. I guess I can't zoom in the way that I normally do. Yeah, that doesn't work. So I don't know. Oh, here we go. Slim backpack. This is one of the new products we're going to talk about tonight, but you can see even the new stuff is in here. So let's zip on over to Clam's website. So we're going to first go through Clam Outdoors new stuff. Then we're going to go through Otter Outdoors new stuff. And then we're going to talk about ice shows at the end. And that's going to get us through a lot of tonight. So if you go to Clam's website, they did update it. This is about a week ago, a little bit less. I think it was like 4 or 5 days ago. They updated their website. And you can go to new products here. I'll link everything down below as well as these things go on sale, because there'll be people watching this on replay a month, 2 months, 5 months from now. I'll have links to the best prices on these products down below as well. So we're going to show all, we're going to keep the relevance where it's at. So we're going to flip through these things. First thing that they've got out here, This is the only shelter that Clam has announced. Let me zoom in and make this bigger for everybody here. This is the only shelter that Clam has announced this year, and it's technically not new. This is the X1200 thermal hub shelter. This used to be was the last 2 years, maybe the last 3 years. I think it's the last 2 years. Somebody can correct me down in the chat. The X1200 thermal hub shelter was a Shields exclusive. This year, they decided to offer it directly as well as potentially through other retailers if they are willing to pick it up. This is $1199.99. MSRP on this, manufacturer suggested retail price, basically your full retail price last year and the year before was $999, $1,000, so $200 cheaper through Shields. Now we all know there's lots of reasons, tariffs, price increases, all that stuff, right? I mean, let's be honest, we know these aren't made here in the US. So there's imported fees that are on it. So prices are going up across the board. Some of their things they didn't raise the price on. This is one of the items that they did. So it's $1,200. We saw this as low as $850 last year, advertised on sale by Shields. Not, of course, at the beginning of the ice season, but I think it was like around Black Friday and ice season timeframe. So just so you know, you can get your hands on it, even if you don't want to go to Shields. It should be available elsewhere. This is essentially their X600 hub, mega massive, with two of them smacked together. So it's literally connected in the middle. I've got a video on my channel. If you want to see how somebody decked this out, go and look at, I think the thumbnail says like epic ice shack builds. It was a tour of somebody that decked one of these out last year. It was probably 11 months ago on the channel. If I remember, I'll link it down below so you can go check it out, but walk through this thing. It's awesome. They had a bed in here. Like it was pretty cool. So all the detail that you want to see, it's essentially two X600 smashed together. So that's the first product. That is the only shelter that they have in their list of new products. And again, it's not new. Next is the HD tackle boxes. And when we get through this, we'll talk a little bit about, like, I want to know, are you impressed by what Clam has announced? Do you think there's something missing? Or do you think it's the best year ever? And what are you most excited about? And I'll tell you my thoughts on it as well. This has been out for a little while, so I know some of you are already thinking about this stuff and chatting it up and like, I already know what I want. HD tackle boxes. If you know me, I am a sucker for tackle organization. And so as we talk about these, I know I'm picking them up. I know I'm picking at least a couple of these guys of each of the variations up just to see, can I do something different with my tackle to store it more effectively, more efficiently, in order to carry less out on the ice and have it more accessible. Like that's what my goal is. I'm going to be doing some trips this year that are really focused on how do I become a minimalist and only pack what I need, maybe a backpack on my back and that's it. All the way up to like the fully decked out trips as well, ice camping on the ice. I'm going to be doing that in a hub shelter as well as a flip over on the ice this year. So anyways, HD tackle boxes. So we've seen these, a couple of different versions of these previously. They were the thin ones. Well, this year, what they came out with is, I think it's only two new ones this year that are the deep versions of them. So this has the different sections in it. So 3x4, so 12 different sections here on this side. And then the other side, you can see flips open as well. This is the deep case. So it's not the thin one like we saw last year. It's the deep one. And they've got a few different variations of it. This is one where they're magnetic in the big slots here on this side of it. Of course, they've got the rectangular one that we saw there. And then they've got one that has the actual slots in it that you can put like your jigs, jig heads, and those types of things. What's cool about it is that plate underneath there is magnetic. So if you throw little lures in there, the hooks are metal. And so the hooks will stick to it so they're not getting all tangled up. Pretty cool. This is their HD tackle boxes. I'm pretty excited about this. Here's a picture that you can see here of what they look like. I haven't seen any of these things in person. As soon as I do, you know, videos and content will be coming out. They'll be at the ice shows, but you can see how they hang out inside of there really nicely. And you can see the hooks are what are attached to it. That also helps with not having tangles, things getting banged up, and not needing to actually have like all of them in individual slots in foam. you can actually do some of this bulk organizing as well without things getting all destroyed in a bin. The Watchtower tip up is the next thing that we're going to talk about here. This came out, we heard about this, shoot, probably a month ago. I made a couple posts about it. We had it featured in the FGTN show a little while back as well. But this is the Watchtower tip up from Clam. It is $120 tip up. Now, I am not promising you anything, but typically what we will see at these ice shows is you'll normally find a vendor at the ice shows that'll have this type of product on sale for 20% off. So you're likely going to be able to get this around $100 around ice show season. And then typically Black Friday, there's a lot of places that will do that 15 to 20% off as well. But you got to look out for them. Ice shows, you're going to find better deals typically on this type of thing, unless Clam puts it on sale or they give somebody a promotional right to do that under the MSRP. Because I guess I don't know if they do map pricing on these products, but this is what is the Watchtower tip up? I should probably say in case you don't know. So it's got a big kind of head on the top of instead of where a flag would be on a tip up. It has an LED light wrapped around it. They've got red shown in this picture here, but there's multiple colors. I think it's red. Here we go. You can do blue, you can do red, you can do green, and a close-up of what the blue looks like as well. So those are the different color patterns that you can do. It will light up when it goes up as long as it's powered on, and then when it goes down, the light will go back off. They do not have any of the functionality built into it where you can have it, even when it's in the down position, just be like white. And so that way you can see where they are at night. And then when they flip up, they turn to a color, or they are solid and then they strobe. They can't do any of that. It's just when it's on, what color do you want it to be? And when it's down in a horizontal position, it's off. That's the way that they work. What I've heard from people that tested them, I listened to the Clam Outdoors ice podcast that they do. I think they did one like a week ago. And the guys there had said that they had this runoff of the same batteries all year last year. So hopefully that stays true and it's not going to drain batteries. These are replaceable batteries. This is not like a rechargeable USB-C battery base in it. In terms of the tip up, what you've got here is you've got your round, normal tip up base there. It goes inside of a bag that we can see here, so you can keep it protected. And these do go inside of a 5-gallon bucket. So you can stack 3 or 4. I forget how many you can stack. I think it's 4 inside of a 5-gallon bucket, and they fit in pretty nicely. And they are a padded case, so it's going to actually help protect it as well. The other thing, I don't have all the details and specifics on it. And of course, I haven't gotten my hands on it because they just announced it. But what you'll see down on the bottom is there's not a big handle for reeling it, kind of winding it back up, because they've said supposedly in their R&D, research and development, they've discovered that that is a way that your line can sometimes get caught up and then a fish can break off or get off. And so what they have is where this will spin around and it will stop on a pin that's essentially there, a stop on it, so it won't just free spool all the way off. It's designed in a little bit different way. So supposedly they've thought of a lot of different ways to make this better than the rest of the competition. I believe it's an insulated tip up. I haven't seen the bottom of this thing. I should go back and watch that other video, but I do believe there's foam on the underside of this, so it's considered an insulated tip up. And it says right here, fully insulated tip up. So there you go. Answers our question right there. So if you're interested, that is the Watchtower tip up. There are, we're going to go through all of the products that they have. They don't have like a zillion of them, but they do have quite a few. And so we're going to go through them here. Next thing is a rechargeable hand warmer. Now, they did have rechargeable hand warmers last year. They were the exact same thing, just a different color than what you could buy on Amazon for cheaper. This year, they are a little bit different. I haven't went and scoured Amazon to see if I can find, did they knock somebody else off? This is a new design. It supposedly has a light in it, and it also has a couple of different heat levels as well. There's the light that's on the end of it. So what they're saying here features 4 heat settings and up to 18 hours of warmth. It's slim, heavy-duty warmer, slips easily in your pocket, and doubles as a power bank to charge your phone or other devices. Waterproof construction, built-in flashlight, and quick recharge capability. It's ready for your coldest days on the ice. Some people like these things, some people don't. I'm mixed. I like just the hot hands, like the because they're just so slim, you can slide them in your glove with you. This is great if you put your hands in pocket or like a pocket warmer, or if you have like batteries for your auger or your drill that you keep in like a little cooler lunchbox or an insulated thing that you want to throw this in there to keep them warm. These are the types of things that would work well for that as well because you can just recharge them. So it's a one-time buy. I don't know how good $50 is. It feels a little high. I know that you can get different versions of these, not saying they're the same quality or same features on Amazon. I'll do some comparisons later this year. I'll pick it up and compare heat output features and those types of things. But Amazon, you can pick these up for like 25 bucks. But just so you know, 10,000 milliamp hour battery in it, which is pretty standard for like a normal battery pack. 18 hours of warmth per charge. That is going to obviously be on the lowest setting, I would imagine, because it says up to. The heat settings are 100, 109, 118, 137, 137 degrees. That is toasty. That is really hot. Extra heat mode with 40% faster heating, built-in flashlight SOS mode. It's waterproof construction. I'm not going to read the rest of the detail to you here, but you can see exactly what this guy does. Pretty self-explanatory. All right. Next up, we got a lot of people saying Clam. What's up, Bruce? Tuning in from Facebook. Love it, man. Was a Shields exclusive. Yep, 2-year deal. Thanks, Ryan, on that X1200. They should do Ryan's talking about this X1200. He's like, they should do an X1600, two of the 800s made together. That would be incredible. What's up, Minnesota Fishy? Nice to see you here. Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot to get through. Slim backpack. This is a pretty cool product. Uh, I like backpacks. I got 6 different variations in my gear garage right now, but this is $100, which is actually, to be honest with you, not a bad price. Like a couple of the bags that I have are over $200. This is not a bad price. $99.99 slim backpack. This is something that they actually talked about. They put some thought into. This isn't just like another knockoff of some Amazon or Chinese product. I'm sure it's probably made in China, I would guess, but they actually work to design this bag uniquely for ice fishing, which I'm honestly really excited about. I will be buying one of these and testing it out this year and giving you the lowdown. But this is how it works. They've got a spot for you to put 2 different ice fishing rods in there. And what's really cool about that is there is a flap here that you can undo these buckles, flap it down, and you can see the rods in the whole rod actually fits inside of there, and then your reels can just stick out. And so it fits in there really nicely. And there's actually a clip behind here. I don't know if they have an open, they do. I don't know if this shows it very well. Okay, they do here. So you can see once that flap's open, your rods go in, and there is a clip here to clip onto the rod blank so that it keeps them straight up instead of sliding to the sides or anything. So they do have that. Because like if you're hole hopping or you're going to just go out for just like running around for the day, or even you're going to go meet up with some buddies, 2 rods is actually pretty dang good because you can always switch out what's on them. But 2 rods is pretty dang good if you're targeting one specific species. So they got that. They've got the back of it here, which they've got the strap here, which will go across your chest so it won't fall down on you. It'll actually sit up. You've got a top opening, big top opening where you can put all of your tackle bags in. It is slim, so it's not going to be your highest capacity bag out there, but it will allow you to put quite a few tackle boxes and things in it. You've got these are, I believe they said these are YKK zippers, which are really nice. I will check that. Don't hold me to that right now, but I do believe that is what they said. So these are nice zippers you can see with the pull strings on them, and they look like they're going to be relatively easy to open. And I'm almost thinking these aren't YKK because it should say it on the pull itself, not on the pull, but on the bracket. So they may not be. We already looked at that picture there. You can see throwing it on the back when you're out fishing on the ATV, hopping around, opening it up, grabbing your stuff out of it. So they got some nice photography in here, obviously from last year as well. And this is what they're saying about it. It is light, travel light and fish smart with the Clam Slim backpack built for hole hoppers and anglers who stay on the move. The on-the-go rod storage, 2 rods. We talked about plenty of room for tackle, snacks, and gear. Slim profile pack keeps everything you need within reach. Comfortable to wear and tough enough for the ice. These pictures don't do it justice. I think this thing's gonna be awesome. I'll do a full video on this because I'm excited about it, and maybe I'll compare it to there's one other bag that I absolutely love. It's actually from, it's Ego Cryptic. I'll compare this to it, and, we'll give you an update on what I think about this. So they got the large zippered main compartment, secondary zippered compartment with zippered mesh pocket, 2 quick access rod holders we talked about, front zippered pocket for small essentials, padded shoulder straps we can talk about, but you saw them in the picture, expanded buckle straps, front buckle strap, carry handle on the top, tough reinforced bottom for durability. Oh, that's what we didn't talk about. I don't think they show it very well, but they did say it has a hard bottom on it. I don't know if any of these photos do it justice. In fact, it almost doesn't look like a hard bottom in there. Maybe you can kind of see it there. So anyways, supposedly has a nice hard bottom that's waterproof as well. So that is the Slim backpack. Backpack needs to hold thermos and lunch. Yeah, and it probably would. I don't know. It doesn't look like they put drink holders on the sides, which I think is a miss. They probably should have done that. But I know there's brands out there that sell like the clip-on ones. If you have like mole loop, and it kind of looks like there might be that on the front, or that's just like a fancy stitching on it. I don't know. But yeah, like that could be a reason why this might not be the right bag for you. Good call out there, Mike. Okay, next up, deluxe floating ice picks. Again, nothing revolutionary. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but they are EVA wrapped handles for buoyancy, so they will not sink on you. You can clip them together, so that way they're not poking you while in storage as well. $16.99. The Extreme gloves. I was gonna do some research on it, but I guess I'll just have to do it later on and update you all on it, but they've got the Extreme gloves. I honestly feel like the Extreme gloves have been out and have been announced as new for several years from them, but from my understanding, they did something different with the PrimaLoft inside of it and potentially the outside. Like, this might just be a redesign of the old Extreme glove, but at 69.99, if this competes with, and I'll try them on, my favorite gloves, I think they're called, here, I'll show you what my favorite ice fishing gloves are. My hands usually get cold. Of course, I don't fish with these gloves. Let me see. Striker brands ice fishing gloves. I'm gonna pull up my favorite gloves right here. These puppies right here, the combat gloves. These are my by far favorite ice fishing gloves on the market. This is a super soft leather and they're incredibly heavy duty gloves. They're warm. They've got the long part that goes up on your arm. You can cinch it down so you're not getting snow and stuff blowing back in underneath, things dripping down. You've got cinch straps there. These are incredibly comfortable. Nice to have 200 grams of 3M Thinsulate. This is not about this product, but what I was trying to say is these are $130 full retail, right? If we go back to this puppy, they don't look too different. Granted, these aren't that super soft leather all the way around it, whatever they call it. But if they are anywhere near the quality of what those Striker ice gloves are, at almost half the price, this could be a pretty dang good deal, and especially if you can grab them on sale. So I'm going to do a little bit of digging to figure out what's different this year versus it because they are calling it new, but we will find out. What they're saying right here is featuring PrimaLoft Active Evolve fleece lining, making its debut in a glove, along with PrimaLoft Gold insulation. These gloves keep your hands warm, dry, and ready for anything winter throws your way. Perfect for snowmobiling, ice fishing, or any extreme cold weather activity. And we can already see right here, they will not likely be as warm as those Striker ones because we've only got 133 grams and 100 grams versus the 200 of the 3M Thinsulate. But I don't know if they're using, I wouldn't imagine they're using the gold in the Striker. So it could be close. But anyways, size is small to 2XL if you're interested. I know I'm gonna check these out at the shows. I'll probably buy a pair just to test them against them and maybe doing a glove review later this year. The Extreme Mitt, nothing here fancy that we're gonna talk about. It's just the same thing as what we just talked about with the glove, except if you prefer a mitt version, they now have one of those as well. That's using the same updated whatever they updated on it for your gloves. They've also got an Expedition glove, $59.99, so $10 cheaper. It is a more compact glove. It is going to be a little bit thinner. You got 60 grams of Primaloft gold insulation, and the gold is one of the best insulations out there. They've got cross-core technology that adds lightweight warmth, goat skin reinforcements. So that is this really soft leather is goat skin that you can see here. So they've got quite a bit of that. And then they've got, is that a micro suede? It looks like a micro suede or a microfiber on the back of the thumb for when you wipe your nose like this when you're out ice fishing. If you're doing that because you got a runny nose, which happens a lot when you're out ice fishing, it's going to be soft on your hand, on your nose, and your face, which is pretty freaking great. Oh, and it also says touch screen compatible fingertips. So there you go. A little bit thinner. Maybe you can even ice fish in those guys. These ones are a little bit too bulky for sure. Next up, I don't love this product, but I'm going to talk about it. As you all know, I don't work for any of these brands. I don't get paid anything by any of these brands. So, one of the really cool things about this channel versus I think almost any other out there is that I'm not on pro staff with any of them. I will tell you exactly what I want to tell you about all the products, and I get excited about all the brands. Of course, I have favorites in different product categories just because of my personal opinion. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and it's not because anybody's paying me or telling me to tell you anything about it. So this Clam aerator, I don't really love, but it is an option, and maybe it's great for somebody out there on the market. It's $24.99. It's a different style than we've seen typically before. It's more of a cylinder style, real basic. You got your hose that comes off of it into a simple aerator stone, and you got the clip on the back of it. What's interesting about this is that you use AA batteries. Hey, AA batteries were a thing, in my opinion, of the past with aerators. That's what it used to be. And then we moved away from it because of how much of a pain in the butt AA, AAA, you name it, DC batteries are in these electronics. And we moved to rechargeable devices that have like a USB-C you can plug in, you can charge it up, and you're good for all day and you charge it up later, right? You're not buying batteries, the expensive batteries, and you're not, having to throw them away. And what happens if you don't have them? You can't charge all of those types of things. So they made this one to run on AA batteries. And that's basically it. It's a compact aerator, runs on AA batteries. It runs on 1, 2, or 3 batteries. Longest run time and the most output with 3 batteries, up to 40 hours of runtime, quiet operation, won't spook fish. Up to 40 hours of runtime. So that means if you're going overnight fishing somewhere and you're going to have it on for 2 days, even with 3 AA batteries, if you max out the runtime, you can't even get 48 hours before you got to pop in 3 more AA batteries. Pretty crazy. You can tell I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's super simple. So if there's somebody that just wants a simple aerator, 25 bucks. I mean, I just can't get behind it, right? Because you can get a more full featured, you can get one that has intermittent settings, you can get one with 3 different uh aeration uh um, like volume modes, if you will, in a lithium rechargeable brushless design for about the same price on Amazon right now. I mean, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me, but it is available. And if this is exactly what you're looking for, feel free to go and pick it up. All right. What do we got here? We got Jerry saying he's excited about Otter. We're going to be getting to it here. A backpack. We already talked about that. Mainer's gloves are the best. Crazy price though. I'll have to look it up, Bruce. I don't know anything about that brand. I'll go check it out though. What up, Doug? Ice fishing season for me as well. Love it. Love it. I'm sure the Canadian crew here is probably get a lot closer even than we are, which is pretty awesome. So, Clam Lock Electronics head unit mount. I thought this was pretty interesting. So, it's exactly what it says it is. On the back of it, you've got a clam lock. If you don't know what a clam lock is, it is the accessory. Do they show you any of the other accessories? They don't. The clam lock accessory is essentially this puck style attachment point. So you've got tons of brands, right? You've got Catch Cover, they've got their pucks, right? You've got Rapala, that's got their cups and their discs and their pucks and their discs and their attachment points. You've got Otter with their QA, their quick attach, I think, is system that they've got. You've got Eskimo that's got their system. Like everybody's got their accessory system. This is intended to be used with Clam's accessory system that they call Clam Lock. They've got a lot of different accessories. And all that it basically is a mount for a graph head unit. So if you use Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird, if you use Vexlar, Markham, and you don't want that down on a shuttle on the floor, this is for like if you're in a hub house, if you're in a hard-sided shack, if you're in a wheelhouse, if you want to put it on the side of your ATV or your snowmobile, wherever you want to put a clam lock, you can actually just take the head, the screen of that unit, and mount it at eye level or further up, kind of like what we're seeing here in this picture. This one is a little bit weird because they actually have it down by the hole where it would actually be the same as on a shuttle. The difference here is this is in a hard-sided shack, and so instead of being on a shuttle, you can just hardwire this in to the 12 volt of the house, which is pretty great as well. So similar to what you're seeing here. Hey, Sobe, look at him. So that's what this guy is. That's $29.99 for that unit. Next up, we've got Clam Lock vertical rattle reel. So this is another Clam Lock accessory. We've all seen rattle reels. The only difference on this versus the rattle reels, like what they had last year, is that this is vertical. So the the rod's bent on it, which allows you to mount it somewhere and get vertical hang. So think about mounting it on a ceiling, the center of a hub house if you wanted a hole right in the middle to be able to jig or something like that. Could be actually kind of interesting, like if you're uh yeah, hub house fishing and doing it that way, but that's what it is. Pretty straightforward. $60 is what we're looking at there. And then they got 3 pairs of socks. They've got the lightweight, a midweight, and a heavyweight. They really talked these things up on the thing that I listened to last week. $15, $20, 25. Not bad price points given what they are. They're merino wool liner socks. And so depending on the level of warmth and weight that you want, you can pick up what you're looking for. 75% merino wool, 23% nylon, 2% spandex. The whole idea here, moisture wicking, that's the idea of the wool, and it is temperature regulating and naturally antimicrobial, which merino wool is. And so you can see the different sizes that you can get here. That is what they've got. I'm going to zoom out here because for some reason I feel like yes, that is everything. That is everything that Clam announced this year. Don't, but wait, Otter's coming up next. So we're going to talk about Otter. But first, what do you think about what Clam has announced this year? I'll zoom out, make it really small so you can't actually even see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 new products. That is what Clam came out with this year. What do you think? I think that there's a couple cool products in here that I'm excited about. The HD tackle boxes, I'm for sure going to get some of them and try them out. Of course, the slim backpack I'm going to pick up. I'm actually really excited about that. I would say the slim backpack and the extreme glove, depending on how they work out, one of those will be my favorite release of Clams this year. It'll be one of those two things. If you're a mitt guy, you might be really, or gal, you might be really excited about the extreme mitts. I will be planning on picking up the HD tackle boxes to test out and try out this year. I may as well try out one of the Watchtower tip ups. I think it's crazy overpriced and not featured well, but I may as well do a comparison versus some of the others I got. I'll pick up the hand warmer to do a comparison. And then, of course, the gloves I'll pick up, the backpack I'll pick up. And I think that's it. If they do a really good sale price on these socks, maybe I'll try them out. But that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm not super impressed, but we all know how it works. You're gonna have slow years and you're gonna have busy years. Look at Otter last year. What did Otter come out with last year? Some quick attach accessories, and then, like, I think, like, maybe a different hub shelter, like, the double door or full door on something like that, and, like, that was it. This year, Otter's got some other stuff coming, which we're gonna talk about next, but what are your thoughts on Clam? Good, but I expected more. A few interesting items. Yeah. Clam usually has like 30 to 50 new items, right? Shacks that, like, they have no new ice houses this year, flip overs or hub shelters. They have no new clothing at all this year. No new suits, jackets, boots. Like, they don't have anything. They have accessories is all that they launched this year. I know I sound really negative right now. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying it the way that it is. It's really factual. They don't have any of those things. And one way to think about it is products have more than a 3-month lifespan before you got to go and come up with a new one. And I would agree with that. They've got a lot of really great products. So that is where I will shift you back to, if you're interested, their full catalog, because they've got a ton of other stuff if you want to go check it out. Float suits, gloves, like, look at all of the gloves they've got. They've got so many different gloves here that we didn't talk about because they're not all considered new. But look at that. They got the chopper mitts, the chopper mitt combo they came out with last year, the Edge X mitt they came out with last year, the quick release stretch belt they came out with last year. So that's Clam. Drop down in the chat real quick while I take a drink here. What are your thoughts on Clam? And then we're going to move on. Who doesn't get cold feet? Please test out the socks. I just might, Z-Bass, just for you. Surprised not any rods or baits. Big year last year for plastics and spooler elite and rods. It was. Yeah, I forgot about all those baits they had last year. Go back on my channel, check out all the other videos. Maybe I'll also link down below after the stream's over the Clam new gear, ice gear that they launched last year. I did a video on as well, so you can go check it out. Okay. Now, before we dive into Otter, I do want to show you something that I've been working on. It's called Angler Built. You may have heard of it. You may not have. It's anglerbuilt.com. You can check it out. Otherwise, it is linked down below. The whole idea behind this website, this is not paid for this or anything like that. This is a website that I built by myself for other anglers. And the goal of this website is to be a one-stop shop to help people pick out gear and buy the right gear the first time, and save money while they're doing it, get all their questions answered. So we got a lot of different tools in here, but the custom bundle builder, just as an example, this is geared around electronics and picking out. Right now it's Garmin primarily loaded in here, but you can pick out a screen. So right now I've got a screen in here, and if you didn't know, you can actually get deals on a lot of Garmin products. Look at this. We got almost $25 off of a GT10 ice fishing transducer. We've got money off of an Amped Outdoors battery. We've got savings on the LVS 34. We've got savings on the screen. But this tool is built in a way for you to be able to do side-by-side comparison of the specs and the features that mean the most to you to pick out what you want. So go check it out. You can build your own bundles. You can do all of that stuff. I built the website. What I want to know, go check it out and let me know what other features you want on here. I'm doing all the coding. I'm building the site myself. I would love to make this tool more powerful, and there's a lot more still to come. We're going to add guides on there. We're going to do more comparisons. New brands are coming. I'm going to have Humminbird and Lowrance on there eventually as well. Each month, I'm trying to do something new to launch on the site. So go check it out. The stream is brought to you by Angler Built this week. So there we go. Who's ready to talk about Otter? Anybody? Otter Outdoors? Clam shut down Blackfish website, and now Blackfish is on the Clam website. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they'll start it back up. I know that they were doing some consolidation and stuff. I'm a huge fan of the Blackfish stuff. I didn't get into Blackfish until last year. Like, I had nothing from Blackfish until last year. And now I think I own like 6 things from them. I love their stuff. All right, here we go. Otter Outdoors has not officially announced their new products. However, this is not clickbait. We're going to talk about it. I found a way, thanks to a buddy of mine, that sent me a tip. So, like, if you guys ever get tips on like new gear, leaks, or anything like that, send it to me and we'll share the news with everybody else. If you do some Googling, you can find this website, which is Big Country Sporting Goods. And if you search, it's kind of interesting. You can't click on Otter Outdoors. You got to click on Otter, the brand. And if you scroll down, they don't have images here, but we can see some of the new stuff that Otter's coming out with. And I would argue it's probably most of the new stuff that they have. So let me blow this puppy up. These plastics are not from them. These are from a different, I think Otter Tail is where those are from. So first thing here, an Otter sonar sled. So the way that this works is these are all listings on a product page, like you see here. Normally they'd have pictures, you could add them to your cart and whatnot, but these just have a stock image because they can't obviously put a picture of it because it's not announced yet. Otter's not gonna announce their gear until October. However, we're gonna look at what we can find right now, and as I get more info, you guys will as well. So the first product that they have, this is the title of it. The Otter, this is their model number. It's the sonar sled. Fits most forward-facing sonar. If we click on it here, it'll just bring us to the product page for it, which just has a bigger stock image of just some random tent outside that looks like it's got a lot of holes in it. And it tells us the same thing here. So we've got the model number, the sonar sled fits most forward-facing sonar. We've got an MSRP, $339.99, and there it looks like going to have it for $256.86 as well. It looks like you could add it to your cart. I could check out with my Google Pay right now if I wanted to, but it does say right here the item is not marked as in stock. They'll contact us if the order is back ordered, blah, blah, blah. So you can't actually order and buy them right now. But think about this. It's a sonar sled. So one of the problems that I've had, especially with live imaging, is they're so heavy, right? Even if you build, like I've built the lightest, and I've got a new build of the lightest live imaging, live scope setup coming out this year. I'm gonna be working on it in the garage in the next couple of weeks here. But one thought that people have had, and I've actually built a sled that has a spot to put your shuttle in, and then you pull it around as you're hole hopping. Well, it looks like maybe, I have no clue what this is, but I think Otter has a sonar sled that's essentially doing the same thing. So you tell me, what do you think the Otter sonar sled is that fits most forward-facing sonar? It sounds exactly like what I'm describing. It's a small sled. You can throw that on there, maybe a couple of rods, a place for some tackle, pull it around on the ice so you don't need to be lugging around that 20, 30-pound setup that you've got. So that is, it seems reasonable given the price point and knowing what competitive products are at, but that is the first product that we saw leaked from Otter Outdoors. Next up, and I've already clicked through some of these and I'm pretty excited about it. Check this out. This is probably one of the things I'm most excited about. The Otter Resort Sleeper X-Over. So let me break this down for you. So an X-Over is a flip over shelter. We know the Resort is their biggest flip over shelter that they have, at least as of right now. And this is the XTR version, and it's the sleeper. It has a reclining 3-piece split bench. So I first have to say, how freaking genius. Like, how many people that like to go out ice camping have tried doing the flip over and you like move a seat or your bench is in the way and you put a cot in kind of lengthwise next to it to be able to sleep on it in a flip over? Like, I know some people have done like DIY mods where they put like a flat bench in or they put like a piece of plywood over the tub and then they can put a mat on it. But nobody's actually come out with a flip over that the bench folds into a convertible bed essentially to sleep in. And that right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what it looks like they have announced for this year. The Resort Sleeper, Otter XTR Resort Sleeper X Over. So the X Over means that it's the crossover. So it's the flip over. You've got side doors, front door, and I would imagine maybe even a back door on it. You got a big tub in it, a reclining 3-piece split bench. So that would mean the bench can actually recline back, and I imagine it can go all the way flat into a bed as well. We don't know really much more. The descriptions on all of these products on here are just basically repeating what the title of it is, but we can see it's $13.99. So not cheap, but I wouldn't expect it to be, seeing how big this thing is, it being new to the market. So what do you think about this? How cool is this? All right, next up, what do we got from Otter? Next product that we're going to talk about that has been leaked from Otter. And I don't know if Otter likes that I'm doing this or not, but again, this is the beauty of Google and not having an NDA with any of these companies. Otter XTR Lodge X over flip over reclining split bench. So this is the Lodge X over flip over reclining split bench. This doesn't say it's a three-way split or anything like that. The Lodge is one size smaller than the Resort. This was my 2 to 3 man. I had the Pro version of the Lodge X over previously, where it had the 2 bucket seats, and then I bought a third one so you could actually fit 3 of them. That's this size. It's the Lodge size. The Resort comes with 3 seats in it if you get the Pro, otherwise the bench. This is obviously a bench in it as well. So I don't know if this is a sleeper version. It doesn't say sleeper, but it kind of feels like it would be as well. So this is the Lodge at $1,131. So a little bit cheaper than that $1,400 price point. And who knows if this is just some special price they've got? Maybe it's $11.99 or $12.99, and they're just not showing us what it's supposed to be because these are weird prices. Next up, we've got the Otter XTR Cabin X over flip over reclining split bench. So it sounds like this is another reclining split bench. I don't know if it's a sleeper or not. We're starting to get pretty narrow, so I can't imagine in the cabin size you're going to be sleeping lengthwise in it. But this one right now is saying $1,009.43. So they got the Resort, the Lodge, the cabin, and of course, they've got the XTR Cottage as well, which is the even smaller yet. So this is the 882. It's the flip over with the reclining split bench. For all I know, these ones aren't, other than the Resort. The Resort may be the only sleeper one, which is the only one that has sleeper in the title. These other ones, Lodge, Cabin, and Cottage, might just be reclining back. So you can like recline back in it rather than actually laying down in it. Which I think would make sense just given the dimensions of those. So 882 is a pretty dang good price. I would imagine this is probably like 899 or something like that. And this is just a weird price that they've got on here right now. All right, next up. So here's something to look at. Remember, these say XTR. I have no clue what the XTR stands for, and I can't hover it over the title. Otherwise, it like has that pop up on there. But Otter XTR, I imagine this is the XT. The R, which is the model, and then the R stands for reclining would be what I'm thinking. XT could stand for extra tall. So maybe the front is extra tall, like if you remember, like because the front door that you can walk out, full front door potentially, that like Clam has done, where they've got the XT version of it. That could be why that's there, or it's just part of the name. But I imagine the R is for reclining, because if we look at that Resort, it did also say XTR, but it does say sleeper in the title. So the next product from them is another flip over. So you can see Otter's got some freaking flip overs coming out, but they got more. When we get to the next page, you're going to see they've got even more than just flip overs. So we've got the Otter Pro XS, extra slim, extra small, extra. What is the S? Anybody know? Because it doesn't tell us here. Pro XS Lodge X over Ice Bundle. The other ones didn't say Ice Bundle in them. So what do you think the Ice Bundle means? Are they bundling it with other products? Is the extra Supreme package that has like a ton of accessories in it? Because this is not a cheap price. $1499.99. And it is the Pro. So let's not kid ourselves. The Pro usually means you have bucket seats, right? The chairs, the swivel chairs rather than a bench. So this is what I'm seeing is Otter Lodge size, X over, flip over, 2 side doors, front door, maybe even like a back hatched side door type of thing. You've got 2 seats in it because it's the Lodge size, I would imagine. And then it's an Ice Bundle. So you're probably getting Maybe you're getting the sonar sled with it. Maybe you're getting some new accessories with it as well. Maybe that'll be telling to us when we get to the rest of the listings here, but that's $14.99. And then I'm not going to click on it, but they have the cabin version of it, which is $150 less at $1349.99. Let's flip to the next page here. We've got the Pro XS Resort X over flip over. This one specifically says front, side, and rear doors for $15.99, but it doesn't say ice bundle on it, which is weird. It could just be that they're screwing up the name on some of these. I would imagine um, this is a different product though, because the next one is the Pro XS Lodge X over, and this doesn't say ice bundle, but it does say front, side, and rear doors. So my guess that ice bundle added $300 to this guy. So they're probably throwing in that maybe that sonar sled, maybe some other accessories with it. Who knows? But they've got this guy as well. So you can see tons of them, tons of new products for sure. 3 different Lodge models that they launched. Then we've got the same for the Pro XS cabin at $11.99 X over flip over front side rear doors. And check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're no longer talking about flip overs. The Otter Windbreak V Hub 2-panel hub construction ice anchor for $102.66. Okay, let's talk about this. This is a V hub. So if we think about a hub house, it has sides around it and a roof on it. This specifically says windbreak. I'm imagining it's a windbreak, so it's like a panel that goes up, a windbreak panel, and it's in a V pattern. So when the wind hits it, it kind of goes around it aerodynamically. And it says 2 panels, so it'd be 1 panel, 2 panels in a V shape. That's what I'm thinking. 2-panel hub construction, ice anchor. Maybe it's got a little top on it. I don't know. And obviously, it has ice anchors with it. It's not super expensive, $134.99 MSRP. Of course, they've got a different price here at $102.66. But that's something to get your brain working. What is this? What do we think it is? Drop in the comments. And if you're on the replay squad, let me know what you think this could be. Or if you find out. If you find out more leaks, let me know, and we'll pull it up next week for sure. Then they've got the large pro sled, which is for the resort. This is the sled, the actual sled on the ice. It's got HDX Hyfax kit, and it includes mounting. 127.05. Large pro sled resort HDX Hyfax kit includes mounting. Okay, so this is not the sled. There's no way they're selling the sled for this cheap. So this just must be a new HDX Hyfax kit, including some sort of mounting screws or something like that. 127.05 for the large pro sled. So it looks like they've got a couple of Hyfax kits coming out this year. They've got the Magnum Pro HDX Hyfax kit, which is for the lodge. They've got another Hyfax kit for the cabin, another one. Small ultra wide pro sled HDX Hyfax kit. And then they've got the small Hyfax kit. And then here we go. Look at this. This could answer our question from earlier on. Otter portable LED light kit. Universal mounting hubs and for flips. Universal mounting for hubs and flips must be what they're trying to say here. So this is a portable LED light kit. Okay, so now, this is $129.99. Remember before they had the, let's go back to it. They've got, I think that was on the first page, wasn't it? I think we're piecing together what these things are. This guy right here, the Otter Pro XS Lodge X over ice bundle. I bet you what they mean by ice bundle is some of those accessories included. Because remember, this is $300 more than the one that doesn't say ice bundle. So my guess is that $300 is getting you a light kit and maybe some other accessories. Let's go back and see what the other accessories are that they're launching this year, because I would assume they're probably the new ones. Uh, Maybe some of the old ones too, but let's look here. So that's the light kit. We don't have any details on it. The next up, they've got a portable LED light kit, universal mount hubs and flips. What the heck is going on here? They got 2 different versions of them. Oh, they probably have a big one and a little one, because the only thing different here that we're seeing is price point, $79.99 and $129.99. So they must have a small version and a bigger version, which makes sense. Holy smokes. A bump board, an Otter bump board, 32-inch anodized aluminum, lased etched. I think that's supposed to say laser. Laser etched. $47.99. So if you need a bump board, it looks like they're gonna come out with one laser etched anodized aluminum. Hopefully, it's a nice blue color. I love blue. And then last but not least, they've got the Otter Shelter floor tile. Ooh, these are the floor tile, the puzzle piece mats. 3/4 inch thick. That's a nice thickness. 2 feet by 2 feet, 24-inch by 24-inch square. 2 edge pieces, 24 square feet. 24 square feet with 2 edge pieces. So what would that be? 24 square feet. Well, let's do some math. If the squares are 2 by 2, each one's 4 feet. 24 divided by 4 gets you to 6, and you got 2 edge pieces. So you have 4 center pieces and 2 edge pieces for $64.99. So let me show you what these are. I obviously don't have a picture here of the Otter ones, but here, I'll show you this. Do, 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 do. Here we go. We're on Home Depot's website. This is a different brand. It says 24-inch by 24-inch, 3/4 inch extra thick. Exact same dimensions is from Otter. You've got extra thick interlocking puzzle exercise mat for home and gym equipment, 48 square feet. So let's flip back. How many square feet did we have? 24 square feet, 2 edge pieces. I'm starting to think the edge pieces are different. So you probably get 6 of these squares, and then you're probably going to get 2 of these edge pieces like what we see here. That would be my guess. So this is double the quantity. So instead of 24 square feet, you're getting 48 square feet. And it looks like probably a bunch of the edge pieces with it. I don't think it says. It's got the diamond plate texture. And the price is $77.56 right now from Home Depot. I know you can buy them a lot of places. I literally just Googled this, and it was the first thing that popped up. So when we're talking about, I'll make this bigger for y'all. Some kind of AI junk going on there. So you can see what we're looking at here, 24 by 24, 3/4, 77.56 right here. So if we flip back, I believe that is probably exactly the same thing. Maybe they got a different design. Maybe it doesn't have the diamond plate thing on it. Maybe it's got the Otter logo. Maybe it's a different color, but $65, essentially the same price. What's the difference there? 65 to let's call it 78. So for $13 more, I mean, unless you get it on the sale price, but for $13 over MSRP, you can get twice as much just by buying the non-Otter brand. So just be careful with some of this stuff. It may be cool to get Otter stuff, but just be aware there may be some better prices out there. So we got that. I think that was the last new item. Yep. Now it flips over into kind of all the other things that they have. This is not new. This is the XT hideout that they've had for what feels like a century, but I think it's been like 13 years. They've had that one. So what are your thoughts on the new Otter stuff? Are you excited? You guys stoked? Who do you think did better? Now, granted, of course, Otter hasn't publicly announced this stuff. Maybe there's more. maybe some of the assumptions and the thoughts that we have on some of these things aren't right yet because we're going off of basically titles and price points right now. But when they do announce it, we'll come back. We'll talk about the actual products with pictures, videos, all of that, and we'll talk about it. But as of right now, from what you've seen, who's having a bigger year this year, Otter or Clam? Does it shift who you're thinking at the beginning if you put in Clam or Otter? What are your thoughts? Is there any cool new product from Otter that you're thinking about? I'm going to go through the chat right now and see what everybody is saying. Da, da, da. What's going on with Blackfish seemingly liquidating all their clothing? Mark, all that I know is that Blackfish is part of a company that has a new CEO. And one of the primary things that I heard they're doing is they are looking to reduce their SKU assortment. So they're trying to narrow down on specific core product. This is just what I've heard. I didn't hear it from him. I just heard it from trusted sources. They're narrowing their focus and their assortment down so they don't have so many SKUs. They don't have the breadth, but what they're going to do is they're going to go deep and really focus on quality products, still focus on the same use cases, but not as many of them. And I think Blackfish is one of those that they're really trying to narrow in on. And I think the other thing, so as you think about liquidating, as you're saying there, I think they're trying to just get through some of those other SKUs that they're not going to carry anymore, would be my guess. In all honesty, from Irish Hammer, I would sell both my Eskimo and Clam for this one. I've always wanted one that can convert into a bed. If Eskimo would make something to convert the 2600, 2800 into a futon style bench, that'd be sick, dude. Hey, we all know how these work, right? If Clam comes out with a cool thing, if Otter comes out with a cool thing, if Eskimo comes out with a cool thing, you know what's going to happen. They're all going to come out with it within a matter of a couple of years. It's just working their way around. If there's a patent, how do they do it a little bit differently? Perfect example, full doors in hubs. The full doors that are in them, was it Eskimo was the first one to come out with the full door hub, right? Well, guess who came next? That's right, Otter and Clam. And guess what? There's a patent on it, but the way they got around it is they did it just a little bit differently. They designed the door a little bit differently. They called it something differently. It's not like on Clams, they're the max entry where it doesn't have the flap that goes between on the bottom. It's fully open. That's a different design. And that's good enough to get around those patents. So all that needs to happen is they're going to see this. It'll take them a year or two to knock it off. They're going to have their version of it. So I think it's all good for us at the end of the day. But I'm in the same bucket, dude. I really want a sleeper flip over. How sick is that? Now, I'll tell you, a source told me today that that resort sleeper is heavy, like over 200 pounds. So just be cautious of that. It's not the type of thing you're probably going to be wanting to lift. I'm like, what the heck did they put in this thing to make it so heavy? I'm actually pretty excited about it. So, but it sounds like it's pretty sweet. Yeah, I agree with you. It just opens up like where we thought, like, where are they going to innovate next? And then we see stuff like this, and it's like, that's actually pretty sweet, pretty cool idea. Now let's see what it actually looks like because we're just looking at a picture of a tent, right? 3 feet by 8. 3 feet by 8. Wayne. Oh, that's what the dimensions are. Got it. That's what the dimension, the 24 square feet are. Was looking for them to add new hubs. Well, hey, from Otter, you're talking about, Bruce? What hubs did you want from Otter? Everybody's pretty much got the same assortment of hubs within a matter of a few square feet. I'll tell you this. I know of a new hub hitting the market this ice season from a different brand than either of these two brands. In and it is freaking sick. And you'll find out about it within the next couple of months. But like Bruce, if you're looking for some new hubs, tell me what you're looking for. Okay, so you want we're hoping Otter would come out with them. What do you want in a hub? Because there's better I don't wanna say better, there's different new cool ice fishing gear coming from other brands still yet this year that I think people are gonna be excited about. Eskimo! That's what a Smitty is for. For sleeping on? It's not a bad oh, for the weight of it. Yeah, totally, 100%, yes. Or a machine, right? Because like, I'm the kinda guy that I've got a tracked ATV, so that's what I'm gonna use to pull it out with, but I don't wanna this year, I'm not going hard-sided shack. I may rent some, I may go in, like go through a guide service or go out of a resort and be in them, but I'm not gonna be trekking around a full sleeper house this year, a full wheelhouse. I wanna get back to the flip over and the hub style fishing, like, I miss it. I missed it so much the last few years, so we're doing it this year. I've already got a great one man that I'm gonna be using. It's the Clam, Pro Thermal, the 100 XT or whatever it's called. I gotta remember what it's called, but I got that, and then I'm gonna get another big one, which it might just be that Otter Resort sleeper based off of what we've seen, so, alright. As people are dropping other comments in there, the other thing that I wanted to show you is ice shows. So remember, you can go to alextim.com and on the sidebar here, you see ice fishing shows 2025, 2026. If you want to know, I'm going to keep this updated with every ice show that I find out about. So if you see something missing, you can DM me, IM me, email me, whatever. Otherwise, down at the bottom of the page, there is a link that says missing a show or see a change, email me. If you click that, it'll open up email directly to me. Let me know what's missing and I'll get them added in there. Right now, what we have in here is you can sort, but in September, which is the month that we're about to be in just a week or so, it's not technically just ice fishing, but the Landcastle Summer Extravaganza is in there. The only thing that I added since we talked about this was that last week? No, I was out of town last week, so we didn't have the show last week. The week before, the only new one that I added was in November. I added in the Dakota Angler Ice Institute. So this is the Sioux Falls Ice Show. This is November 7th through the 9th. This is my favorite ice show to go to. St. Paul's bigger and better for that reason, but just how much of a hassle it is, the parking, getting there, being there, the energy's insane. But by the time the St. Paul Ice Show has happened, I've already usually been to 7 ice shows. So it's not as like if you only go to one, go to the St. Paul show. But if you're going to one to purchase primarily, I wouldn't go to the St. Paul show for that because it's a zoo trying to buy stuff and then walking out with it. It's just hard. The Dakota Angler Ice Institute in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If you can make it there, I'll be there every day of the show this year. I'm really excited about November 7th through the 9th. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can go every day for 15 bucks. Pretty cheap deal. So you can click on that. All of these, you can you can see some of the details here. You can click on it to go to the official site. And I even have an add to calendar link here. I'm trying to make it easy for you. You can sort by state. So if you're like, I only want to see what's here in Minnesota, you can do that. Wisconsin, we got Manitoba, we got Michigan, we got South Dakota, and we'll add them in. Like if North Dakota does another one this year, for sure, like Shields will have one in Fargo this year. So we'll for sure have a North Dakota in there. In other ones will go in there as well. So let me know. Otherwise, I'll have it linked down below if you want to hop to it as well. Upgrade the windows so they don't leak in lights. Looking for something for ice camping with the kids. I'll keep my eye out. New hub you're talking about. Yeah. Uh, You said the words that I was thinking. Ice camping. If you're looking for a hub for ice camping, Bruce, stay tuned. Irish Hammer, hey, have you done any content about Mega Live 2 versus Live Scope? I have some. I don't know if I've posted it. I do have some though, so I'll look at posting it. I'll just give you the synopsis right now. Irish Hammer, Mega Live 2 is great in comparison to the Mega Live 1. The Explorer screens, their new screens that they came out with, the Explorer 9, 10, 12, I think is what they are. Incredible screens. They're great. Mega Live 2 is not as good as the Live Scope Plus, which I was actually surprised by. It's close in certain areas, but it's not. as good as the LiveScope Plus. And so because of that reason, and again, I'm only speaking about my opinion. I don't get paid by either brand. Neither brand has ever given me anything in any way, shape, or form, products, anything like that. So I purchased both with my own money, and LiveScope is what I'm rocking. I'm not going to be switching over to a system that is not as good in my opinion. So I would, if you don't know which ecosystem to get into, if you're open to either of them, or you don't have either of them, I would go Garmin LiveScope. The LiveScope Plus is definitely the best out on the market right now, based off of everything that I've seen from offerings from Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, and then some of the other like third-party brands. But there's better, like, is it cheaper? Maybe, but like where you at? Now, if you already are in the Humminbird system and you're looking at, should I get the Mega Live 2 or do I make the jump to Garmin? If you already have a few different screens that are compatible with the Mega Live 2, because like if you're rocking Helixes, they're not compatible with the Mega Live 2. You can't use Helixes with them. But if you've already got screens like some Apexes, some Solixes, like that type of thing, I would just stick with the Mega Live 2. It is good. It is really good, but it's not as good as the LiveScope Plus, in my opinion. Going to Ice Institute this year for sure. Chris, hit me up. I will be there. We should meet up. Maybe we'll try to do something with anybody that goes to that show, because I know John I ran into last year at the show, as well as quite a few others. I saw John here, so that's why I called him out. John, if you're still hanging out here, let me know. Are you going to the show again? Maybe we should get a few of us together and do something fun. Maybe I got some cool ideas, so let me know. I just like there's no black box, but I haven't seen anything side by side for latency comparison. Here's what I'll tell you, because that's an interesting perspective. There is no black box. Here's the thing, though, that a lot of people don't realize. And the only reason why I know this is because I bought the Explorer 9, which is the smallest, newest screen that they have, and the Mega Live 2, right? And I almost kept it because of exactly what you're saying. It doesn't have a black box. And so I was like, I get it's not as good as the LiveScope Plus. It's still better than the LiveScope, the LVS32, the original LiveScope. And it's better than all the others out there that I've used this far, other than the LiveScope Plus. So I'm like, I don't need the best of the best for like a hole hopping setup, right? No black box, that cuts some weight off of it. It's going to be even lighter than those other ones out there. Let me tell you something. That is actually a false statement. Believe it or not. You're right, it doesn't have a black box, but what people don't realize is the actual head unit. Like if you look at the weight of the Explorer 9, significantly heavier than the EchoMap line of screens from Garmin. So while you're dropping the black box, you're more than making up for it in the additional weight in the head unit, the chart plotter on Humminbird, as well as their transducer weighs more as well than the LiveScope transducer. So when you add the couple of pound, I don't think it's even a couple of pounds, the 1 to 2 pounds of extra weight on the transducer of the Mega Live 2, and then I think it's like 3 to 5 pounds, depending on the screen, added to the chart plotter. I was looking at the Explorer series. You more than offset the weight of having a black box. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that kind of crazy? Those are the videos I need to put out on the channel, because a lot of people don't know that and they get stuck on no black box. And like if you're in a boat, you don't care about the black box. It like doesn't matter to you because you just mount it somewhere and you never think about it again. But for ice fishermen, it matters, right? It matters. But it doesn't matter that you have a black box. And I think that's the thing people don't realize. The black box isn't what matters. It's the weight of the setup that matters. And if you're going to cut 6 pounds by not having a black box, but you're going to add 5 pounds to your screen and 2 pounds to your transducer, you just added a pound by getting rid of a black box, and you have a worse signal. So it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So basically, the black box is just built into the units instead of external like Garmin. Exactly right. It's not that black and white, but that's essentially the premise, right? They had to build that extra processing power into the head units, as well as like, it's not that the chip in the black box is so big, it needs to dissipate the heat as well, which is why they're so big and heavy and they're metal, is because they get hot and they need all of that airflow hitting all those metal grooves and things to dissipate the heat. They've gotta build that into the screen, which is doing the processing power. That's where companies that I think are innovative, some people hate them. I don't really care, either way because I don't work for any of the brands, but if you look at AccuFi or Ping Live Sonar, they actually came up with something unique and interesting and new. Hate them all that you want for knocking off Garmin, but their transducer doesn't need a black box, and it doesn't need a chart plotter. You can use your iPhone, your Android phone or your iPad or a tablet because they actually have the processing in the transducer. So the transducer is a tiny bit bigger, but it doesn't need all of that metal and the fins on it because it's water cooled. It's sitting in the water. So the processing is happening in the part that's automatically going to be cooled by the surrounding environment of the water and accelerate that even more if you're ice fishing in the cooler water. So I think I got to do some more videos on that type of thing because I know it does make a difference. Wish the shows were closer to Maine. Bruce, I should look and see. Do you have any shows out there? I bet you guys have some. Let me I can always hit up, let me ask Joe Holland, what shows go on because I know he's deep into the industry as well, and he'd know for sure. I can find out, and if I can find some, I'll get them added in here, Bruce, for sure. Nothing. Dang. Well, let me dig, and if I can find anything, we'll talk about it in an upcoming show. So stay tuned, watch the other FGTN shows. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. I know it's late, it's a work night, school night, whatever you got going on. I work really early in the morning. I gotta be up at like 4:30, but 10:45 Central PM here. Thank you all so much for watching the show, tuning in, the comments, the interaction. I hope you're jacked about ice season. I don't think you'd still be watching at this point if you're not. Comment down below. Just how excited are you for ice fishing season? I want to see everything come in. Replay squad or live squad. Let me know before you tune out. I know a lot of people watch on TV. Open the chat thing on your phone and type in how excited are you for ice season and give me a prediction. When do you think you'll be on ice the first time this season? So take it easy, y'all. Tight lines, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll have some videos coming out before the next FGTN show. Take it easy.